The Wuthering Waves devs opened up about the myriad changes to the game in the last several months, and the results are incredible. Joined by Rexland, they began by acknowledging the criticisms of the first closed beta test, saying they took all pieces of feedback to heart. From there, they addressed every main issue players raised concerns about. Unsurprisingly, a huge pain point for players was how visually dull the open world was. When I played the previous closed beta test, I could tell the environment had potential, but also felt the color schemes were too muted. Some people may worry that this more vibrant world won't feel post-apocalyptic anymore, but from what I've seen in Punishing Grey Raven, I am very confident that Kuro Games can create a colorful yet haunting world. Brightening up the gloomy areas will make the really serious locations stand out even more. As if to prove my point, Kuro Games then showed off various environments in the world, ranging from the lush to the desolate. To further improve the environments, weather has been added. We'll be able to experience both expected and unexpected types of weather in the game. We are truly weathering waves now. My favorite point mentioned is that the weather will behave in certain ways during important plot points. If any of you have played Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, you know why this has got me excited. They also talked about a new atmospheric system that will make textures richer and denser during particularly intense or important situations. Looking forward to seeing that in action. Dim Forest was a location I really enjoyed from the first closed beta due to how vibrant and purple it was. And in the latest footage they've shown us, it looks so much more beautiful. They said every tree in it now has an individually designed appearance. I have no doubt that this will be a top-tier location for taking screenshots with the in-game photo mode. The next thing the devs went on to address was the cutscene animations. The first closed beta test had rather stiff animations and fewer cutscenes than expected. Granted, it was just the first beta test, but now, the cutscenes take inspiration from popular animation in order to create the feeling of watching an anime. And from what's been shown off recently, I'd say their efforts have been a huge success. Minus waking up to Yang boob first. Let's walk that back. Every character will have a dungeon tied to their story. Previously, Dungeon was a standout for this concept, with the other character backstories only having rather underwhelming side missions. Unique dungeons should help to make each character feel just as important as the next while fleshing out the world beyond what you can see on the surface. And speaking of which, the main story quest received a lot of flack before. I thought it had a lot of interesting things going for it, but the English translation of the first closed beta test absolutely felt machine translated, so it was difficult to infer meaning from it at times. Those who could understand the story in native Chinese were critical, with complaints ranging from things like the major characters being too distrusting of the rover, to it just being boring. For the record, I thought it was amazing that Chisia pulled a gun on the rover after first meeting them. That was awesome. Due to all the negative feedback on the writing, the devs concluded that a complete story revamp was necessary. Over 90% of the story has been rewritten. Scripts, voice acting, and the cinematics all had to be thrown away and remade over the course of just 6 months. For context, Wuthering Waves had been in development for 2 to 3 years before the first closed beta. Although I worry for the devs a little bit, this massive undertaking proves Kuro Games' commitment to listening to feedback and improving the experience for everyone. Next, the most important topic was brought up: character changes. The individual characters have all had their models and animations revamped. We got a look at one of Sanhua's new idol animations where she forces herself to smile. Then, a brief look at the characters that will be available in the second closed beta test. Jueyuan has changed significantly, as well as Yinlin, who is not just sporting a new outfit, but has elf ears now. This is great, by the way. I love elf ears. Please give us more elf characters, Kuro. As we've seen previously, Yang has a skirt now, as well as other subtle changes to improve her look overall. Rover's design was already peak, so both male and female versions only have minor changes. Bailian is called Baitsu now, and much like Yinlin, her outfit has changed completely. Let's not beat around the bush. It appears that every single female character has become noticeably more busty with more revealing outfits. I imagine this change was in response to player feedback as well. Unfortunately, this has caused an effect of the women all looking very similar in shape to each other. Personally, I would appreciate more variety in this aspect, you know, like PGR. The devs spoke about 2 brand new characters starting with Ling Yang, who I cannot forgive for replacing a Wu. Next is Jin Shin, a master of martial arts with an exclusive parry move. Big news for Sekiro fans. She also can use her hair as a whistle, somehow. Is that even hair? Moving right along, let's fire off some gameplay adjustments. Ultimate attacks, known as resonance liberations, have better animations, camera angles, and sound effects. Running, evasion, and parrying have all been adjusted to feel even better. Camera shake has been reduced, and enemy lock-on tracking has been improved, which should prevent people from feeling unwell while playing. QTEs are now called intro skills and outro skills, and are unique for each character. Character abilities flow more seamlessly now, and look great to control. The devs were proud to talk about the changes to the ecosystem, essentially Wuthering Waves' monster capturing aspect and one of my favorite features of the first closed beta. Echoes are not only used for their abilities, but they also determine the stats of your characters, making them very important. Their attack animations have been revised, and there are now more convenient options for obtaining echoes. In one example, they show that the Crownless Echo can parry certain enemy skills, which adds more strategies and options to tough battles. But the most important new feature is that you can now encounter echoes with rare special color schemes. These are, of course, just like shiny Pokemon. If searching for echoes with the best stats doesn't keep you busy enough, hunting down these shiny echoes surely will. In the first closed beta test, the only way to obtain echoes was to search around the open world for them. However, now you only have to acquire an echo once to unlock the ability to farm it by challenging tacit fields, your stamina sink for Wuthering Waves. After the first closed beta test, I had a lot of critical feedback regarding the ecosystem, and I'm pleased to see that this important part of the game seems to have fixed most of its problems. There's no doubt in my mind that Wuthering Waves is going to be a game that doesn't just look good, but feels good too. Even in the first closed beta test, the simple act of moving around the world felt energetic and fun, and I expect that experience will only be intensified going forward. It's hard not to feel inspired by the sincerity and hard work of the devs after all the changes they've worked tirelessly to implement. I'm especially looking forward to learning more about the new playable characters, and if you want to know more about them too, you should check out this video, where I go through them in detail. Yinlin, I am on my knees, you're so beautiful now!